You bring enormous credibility and professional credit to the dean's position. How are you enjoying your innings as a journalism educator?
Well, I'm still keeping in touch with journalism in terms of writing articles. Because once a reporter, always a reporter. It's very difficult to detach yourself from what's happening around the world. Firstly, secondly, I also want to tell you, Aasheesh, that I every day, and I tell this to every student, every day I still read 6 newspapers
Wow.
before I come to the university.
Yes.
Yes, and the first class for all students of School of Journalism and Mass Communication at Apeejay Stya University is the newspaper class. So 9:30, all of them, they all are supposed to read 2 newspapers, uh, Indian Express and the Hindu, and then we discuss what is happening around the world. That's the first class for the entire School of Journalism. So I keep in touch. Having said that, I don't mind getting out of active journalism because I had come into this with a vision of trying to do some serious stuff, and then it suddenly, about 6, 7 years back, it took a turn that I was not liking it too much. But I'm glad that I'm interacting with young minds, uh, and the journalism is getting more and more digital. It's now on your phones, and they are very good with machines. I'm not. So I get a chance to learn from them, and I teach them, art of storytelling. So I don't mind it at all.
Great, sir. Great, sir. Now, sir, the School of Journalism and Media Mass Communication, how is it different from other media schools? What makes SDMC stand out?
The most important thing that really stands out is the quality of educators, the
Right, sir.
quality of trainers that we have here. And I must thank the Chancellor, ma'am, for this. They have not compromised on the quality of the teachers. We are all from industry, most of us. It's a nice blend of academicians and people from the industry. So I teach anchoring, I teach reporting. I have done it myself, both these things, for 25 years.
Right, sir.
Similarly, Pushpa Nair, Seema Guha, Prashant Mathur, who's teaching advertising, all these people are from the industry. They know exactly how to train students, what the industry needs. So we very proudly say that our students can easily walk into the industry, and they have been doing so. I mean, as when we were having a chat the other day, I told you during the first lockdown, our students had passed out and they had got their job. Now, students are passing out; they've already bagged their first jobs,
That's great, sir.
right? So
That's true.
that's because we are training them as the industry needs it. So there is no need for them to get trained in their first job. So that's the most important thing.
Sure, sir. So now, one USP you mentioned is the great infrastructure that you have. And you have labs, you have hands-on training. So how important it is to have state-of-the-art facilities available to students and faculty both?
Absolutely must. It is mandatory, and this is where we score over other media schools as well. I'm sitting in my studio. I mean, this is the place where students actually they train to become anchors. We have state of the art studio. We have the best editing machines that are being used in the industry. We have cameras, we have microphones that are being used in the industry. What it does is we place these equipment in the hands of our students from the first year. That normally does not happen in many universities. They give these equipments to their students in probably at the end of second year or third year. No, we believe in practical work. We believe in our students getting their hands dirty. They do 60% of the course is practical, and they do it on these cameras, these editing machines, these microphones. So let me tell you, Aasheesh, we have our internet radio station.
Right, sir.
We have our own, Radio Satyavani. We have our own newspaper. We have our own YouTube channel. So students are producing stuff and content for all these things, and they are making a portfolio of their own. So it's extremely important that especially journalism and mass communication students, they keep in touch with the equipment and the best equipment, and we have it. We train them like that.
So combined with the great infrastructure, equipment, and the top of the line faculty, so the graduates are industry ready. How important is to maintain that quality and meet the needs of the industry, and how does this combine in terms of placements? So which are the big companies from which your alumni have gone to?
Okay, so it's very important, as I told you, to train them in the manner what industry needs. Because I was, as the senior executive editor and managing editor at NDTV, I used to do recruitment of youngsters. And the thing I was looking for was, a fire in their belly and a little bit of training how to tell a story. So art of storytelling is the first thing that we try and teach them.
Right.
And it is important for our students to interact with the best of the lot in the industry.
Right.
So be it Rajni, be it Ravish, be it Nidhi, be it Deepak Chaurasia, be it Roni Singh, they all come here and provide master classes to our students.
Right.
That's an inspiration. They are telling their own story. They are passing on their experience with these students. It's extremely important. When the lockdown had happened, Aasheesh, we had a plethora of all these luminaries from our industry talking to our students. Right. Be it Paranjoy Guha Thakurta, be it Dareen Shahidi, they were all, Hridesh Joshi, they all came and spoke. And it's very important. We took our students to places like the Quint, because digital medium is really opening up.
Right.
There are almost, the CAGR, compounded annual growth rate of around 35% as far as digital media is concerned. So we train them, we send them to the Quint, we send them to NDTV, we send them to India Ahead News. So, and all these three places have our students working right now.
Sure, sir.
Yeah. ABP News, our students have gone there and done very well. In fact, Aasheesh, we had 2 students doing 6 months of industry training in BBC, unheard of.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah,
that is the best in the world.
Yes, and BBC, the local office in India, had to seek permission from BBC London, and they got it, and we managed to put our 2 students there, and fantastic stint they had.
Great, sir. Going ahead, maybe we would like to interview some of your famous alumni as well. This is your interview, but maybe for the newsroom later, we would like to interact with and look at their experience, how they gained from the college, right? So now also, you have some tie-ups with universities abroad as well in the US. So could you kindly elaborate a little on your tie-up with the American universities?
Yes. We have 2 tie-ups. One is Arcadia University in Pennsylvania, and the second is St. Joseph's University. And these are brilliant tie-ups. These are 2+2. That means now our undergrad course is for 4 years. You do 2 years here, and you carry on those credits, and you can do the next 2 years in any of these universities. And if you have a CGPR of around 3%, you get almost 50% discount in your tuition fee, right? So it's fantastic, and the degree that you get are American universities from these 2 universities. So it's a win-win for students who opt for this.
So that's an amazing thing, sir. Also, you mentioned the art of storytelling is at the core of it, and you are an expert in that. So how important is visual storytelling, and what are your tips for great storytelling in the audiovisual medium?
See, firstly, Aasheesh, I want to tell you that not only in audiovisual medium, even in print, it has become more and more audiovisual. So you have graphics, you have pictures, even in print. Digital, of course, picture and print coming together. And it's, in fact, I also have taught convergent newsrooms. right? So integrated newsrooms where input is one and output can be taken, different platforms can take output from the input desk. So this I implemented in Tanzania, Kenya, and Malaysia, and I teach them that you're getting an information, right? If you belong to TV, look for the best visual, right? And write, your word should supplement those visuals. However, in digital, you have your canvas is much more. You can write more. You can put pictures or even visuals more. In print, you have to explain to this thing with a little bit of graphic and this thing. So art of storytelling, either whether you are doing radio, whether you are doing digital, whether you are doing films, whether you are doing any form of journalism, art of storytelling is the most important thing, Ashish, as we have learned. And this is what we try and teach to our students.
And so, what would be your mantra for great storytelling, the way you see it?
Be factual. In, in this day and age of fake news, be factual, stick
Right.
to facts. Don't give opinions. You will get your time to give opinions later on when you become like Pranay Roy or Arun Puri. But try and put yourself in that place whether you would want to see the story that you are reporting. Whether and why should your viewer or, or your reader read that story? That's the most important thing. And pitching of the story, if you can pitch the story in a sentence or in 10 seconds, then and somebody is interested, then you will be able to do the story. This is what we try and teach our students.
Great, sir. Also, sir, you've taught in other media institutions as well. Now, APJ has a strong emphasis on value-based education. So, how is your experience teaching here vis-a-vis other institutes where you've taught?
See, we are an old school university. We might not have the fanfare of McDonald's or other such stuff, but we actually believe in giving, in man making out of good education, and we concentrate on giving good education to our children. Right? We ensure that all of them get the best of education, the best of internship, so that there is no problem as far as that placement is concerned.
Right.
That is the most important thing that we do. We do not compromise on quality. That we have been taught by by the management, by the founder, Dr. Satyapal, and by our chancellor. Right. So that's the most important thing. You come here, you might not have all the comforts of the world. However, we will give you a comfortable stay. If you're a hosteler, we will give you a very good education, and you will go out happy. That's the value for your money that your parent and you are asking for.
So that's a great promise. And you mentioned the placements, which is a very important thing. So could you share a few some of the success stories in terms of where some of the graduates from the college have been placed and where they are and what are they doing now?
This is the beginning of their career.
Sure.
But they have gone to, as I've told you, they've gone to Indian Express.
Right.
They have gone to ABP News. They have gone to NDTV. They have gone to the Quint. They've now one is working in India News. So all kinds of places. There are many who have gone to PR also. There are some who have gone to advertising. So we take pride in saying this, that our placement is 100%. By the time they finish, by the time they finish their course, they get a job. So that's the most important thing. In fact, as I was telling you, the passing out batch has not even finished. I mean, their results are not out. They're finished with their examination, but they have joined their first jobs. So
Great, sir.
that's what it is.
Great, sir. And you
Yeah.
mentioned, the last year when COVID was at its peak, despite that, everybody got absorbed, and similar is the case with this. So APJ has been known to be a bit of a visionary. We kind of invested in technology, started teaching online classes right after the day the lockdown was announced. So how do you see the effect of the lockdown on the industry and the way APJ has coped with it better than others?
Well, yes, COVID has certainly, especially the two lockdowns that happened, that has really affected the industry. You are from the industry, I am from the industry. A lot of people had to leave, they lost their jobs. But as I was telling you, that right from the next day, the Prime Minister announced that from tomorrow there's complete lockdown. Right from the next day, we had gone online, and our entire learning teaching process was online. Right, we were probably the first university to get our examination on time. We published the results on time so that nobody had any problems getting a job or applying for jobs. Secondly, it was important, similarly this time also. During the lockdown, we took the examination, the entire classes were online, and the examinations have happened, and the results, we are in the process of publishing the results. Because it is important for our students that they get all this in time. You know, bigger universities like JNU and DU, they were struggling with this. But we ensured that none of our students really suffered because of this. So it was very important. And because of this, we are now trained in blended learning. So, and this is what future, yes, this is what future means. So it is going to be an online, offline thing. We can get our master classes with people who are sitting in probably Columbia or Stanford. I have my contacts, friends who are there. No problems at all. It's a brilliant opportunity, this blended learning, and we'll take use of it.
That's it. And one final question before we kind of wind this up. So your experience now, like you mentioned as an educator, you said you were learning things, but the future seems to be this turning this adversity into an opportunity, blended learning. So how do you see the audiovisual medium going forward? And will it be much more of convergence, the kind you have taught in other countries abroad?
See, of course, convergence, what I was talking about, convergence is happening now. I mean, you are sitting in headquarters and I am sitting here. So this, of course, will happen in our industry as well. So you want an interview, you don't have to go there. Zoom is there. So people have started using Zoom. Children have started using Zoom. Technology is changing at a fast pace. And this wouldn't have been possible when we had joined. When we were studying, or when we were working, when we had started working. So blended is the future, and all professions will have to bring it together and learn from it. And if we don't learn it, learn quickly, we will be left behind. And especially in our area, uh, technologies change very fast. I have seen, how we began in 1991, 92, how we used to shoot and how it's shot now. And it's Mojo, it's time of Mojo, mobile journalism. So it's already changing. Yes, it's already changing, but it will change fast, and everybody will have to, keep pace with it.
That's one final question, the USP for your college vis-a-vis, because when we started, like you mentioned, MCRC was the holy grail. Filmmakers used to come out of it. Now we have many more private options, and among the private options, yours is one of the premier institutes. So what do you promise to a graduate when they come to you? Because they will be industry ready, they'll get great placements. What would you sum up as the premise of joining your institute to a student or their parents? What should they be expecting? What is the promise and the USP?
I will again go back to my USP, that we will provide your students with the best teachers possible in this industry, who will train your students to walk into the industry of their choice. We will train them in broadcast journalism. We will make them anchors. We will train them in print journalism or to write in magazine. We will train them to work in a digital medium or on a mobile medium or in films. Be it PR, be it event management, be it advertising. We will train your child to be the best when the child goes for the interview, right? That much we can do. We will also try and open doors for them because we have contacts in the industry. We have worked in the industry for almost 25, 30 years. So we will try and get them their first interview. That much I can promise.
Thank you, sir. It was a pleasure talking to you. And going forward, like we said, we want more synergy with you, with your alumni, do many more stories around the institute.
Pleasure is all mine, Aasheesh.